I understand that guard is one of the unique selling points of Jiu-Jitsu. I can see its merit. It's based upon the idea that you can use your legs when you've had your top position taken away from you. But then I also think it's too easy to give it more credit than it's due and enter into systems that require a suspension of belief and that instill fear in the person on top. I want to make sure we don't have that narrative for beginners starting with us.
So far, the 3 sessions that we've done, we're on number 4 now, is first session we looked at just the basic kind of movements that you'd want on the ground, as in about keeping your balance, etc. You know, the kind of prime things that you should be working on all the time. Second section was going back over those from a different angle. Third session, we kind of like stepped away from it and we went into upright fighting. So that was your footwork, etc., stance, distancing, like intensity on people. We're now going to focus more on the hand fighting part, and then we're going to tie those 2 sections together. And so, and this applies to both legs and arms. So the general kind of proposition of Jiu-Jitsu is I need to get past the arms and legs and gain access to the spine. And so the thing that we've been focusing on in every session has been getting access to the hips and then maintaining control of the hips. So that is us getting past the arms and legs, getting access to the hips and then maintaining control over the hips. So we're just going to focus on what are the core rules around getting past the arms and legs and then getting access to the hips. So going back to a wrestling coach who used to teach at Globetrotters, who still does teach at Globetrotters, one of the things that he said was, if someone goes to take you down, in Jiu-Jitsu, it's very easy to go kind of technique for technique and you have to sprawl and various other moves you can do. But in wrestling, you just put your hands on them. Like if I can just put my hands on you, you need to get past my hands to do anything. If you get past my hands, you need to get past my forearms. If you get past my forearms, that's like the last joint in the way. A big man. Get past that last joint, and then you get access to the center mass. And that carries on then into when someone's been put on their ass, is if they can put their feet on you, that's the same thing. They're going to stop you from getting near their spine. If you get past their feet, you need to get past their shins. If you get past their shins and then past the knee, that's the last joint in the way. You then gain access to the spine again. How you do that is completely up to you, but you just need to go around it in some way. You can go under these things, over them, around them, through them, just something that gets past there, and you're trying to get hold of the hips and then add the rest of yourself without letting them get their arms and legs back in the way. So, for example, if you were doing from standing, I'd want to make sure I control Naki's elbow. If I get past his elbow here, I can move and gain access to all this. If I can get underneath it, I gain access to all this. I can keep it down, I can gain access and move out of the way and get in access. If I'm doing it for forearm, like he can just block still. If I try and go around now, like he can just keep his elbow in the way. I'm not going to be able to get around. So everything matters the second I get past here. But if he can put, if I grab there, great, I have access. But even if he slips his elbow just 1 inch past through again, I don't have access. Does that make sense? And so everything I want, he can kill if he just gets his elbow back in. It's a 1 inch difference. So as soon as I get past his elbow, I want to maintain that control. It's the exact same with his knees. So if he's on the floor and to get his feet off me, make sure his feet aren't touching me, and then I need to get past his knees. If I get past his knees here in any way, so I can go around him or something, because control past his knees, I've got more chance of then being able to climb up his legs into his hips. But if he can just get me south of his knees by 1 inch, I've lost that access. So it's all based on that, in that couple of inches on the elbow and a couple of inches on the knee. He can't defend everything at once. Like if I'm trying to go over and he's lifting his legs really, really high to stop me, I can go under. If I'm trying to go around and he's making his legs really wide, I can then control the middle and go through the middle. So he can't stop everything at once. And so if I'm trying to bully a certain method to get through, he can see it coming and then just stop it dead. But then I can like mix it up with something else. And so this first part is I just want you to feel like the two things that we've already done about controlling the hips on the ground and controlling the body from standing. Remind yourself of those places to begin with. I'm going to leave it more freeform. But just get used to that idea of how it feels like to control someone's knee here, using something, use your hand, your leg or whatever, and see the access it gives you in some way. Just be able to frame against it, push out of the way. Then what happens if you lose it, and how much it just kills everything dead. And the exact same from standing is that if I've got hold of his arm here, it's fuck all. But if I can just get past his elbow, then control it, if I can grip it, whatever, go underneath it, around it, how much that gives me access to him as well. Make sense? So just looking at that to begin with, and then we'll go into actually some drills around it. So just that, how much it means, that 2-inch section of your elbow and your knee to gain access to their body, and then we'll work it a bit harder. Cool, go from there. Grab a human. Just explore that idea to begin with.
This now reiterates the last 2 sessions together, how stand-up relates to ground fighting, and we are attacking the limbs to gain access to the spine by passing the center joint, either the elbow or the knee.
So, super simple idea. Where we go from here then is we'll try and mix in, again, some of the things that you've already kind of covered. So we'll start on the ground to begin with. So as we previously did, we'll go try and find access to the hips and get around the legs in some way. So you can go through them, you can go under them, you can go over them. I don't want you to use speed. I want you to use control to do it. Don't just flip them in the air and hope for the best. I want you to take it as slow as possible. I also want it to be controlled with your movements. And so the example that I'm currently giving is this idea of like carrying like champagne glasses. Like every time I move, I'm moving my weight around inside my shadow. So as soon as I take a step, I do it and I become more vulnerable. But if I had some very full glasses on a tray, I'd want to make sure they stay perfectly still. So I'm kind of keeping my weight in the middle as I walk. And it's the exact same. If I make big movements, I might land them. They might not catch me. Now, if I'm trying to throw myself over Knack, for example, and try to jump over his legs, right, I'm going to throw this leg over to try and get around, but I'm exposed because I threw my weight in the air, which means he can roll me over, which he might not. But if I am aware of that, if I'm aware of like almost like having champagne glasses on my back, as I go, I'm keeping those champagne glasses perfectly steady. So if he tries to roll me, my weight doesn't move as much as I go around. So that's how I wanted to kind of treat it, as no matter what movement you make, try and keep those champagne glasses steady so you're not throwing them around, you're not letting them fall off your back. Does that make sense? So I want to find a way around their knees, so you go over them, under them, around them, through them. Person on the floor, give increasing resistance, don't go balls to the wall to begin with. Try and unbalance them, try and maybe block slightly, or give them a route through, see if they notice it. So if I'm trying to get through and Naki's blocking me, again, I need to control ahead of his knees. The more north of his knees I get, the better. He's trying to block me. I'll wear the champagne glasses. So if he tries to move me now, control north of his knees, so I can get all the way around. Make sense? That's all I want you to do. So keeping all of your balance, aiming ahead of the knees. And the final point is I want you to be aware of your back. Don't allow your neck, your spine to round out. I want to make sure that everything is kept completely neutral. So you're not hyperextending or anything like that. So as soon as I'm in this position, I'm still neutral. Yeah, so if he gets hold of my neck, nothing matters. If I'm lazy, here, putting my head in holes and he gets around my neck, then I have a problem. But if I'm keeping my back nice and neutral, shoulder blades down my back, champagne glasses, try and control. That's it, okay? So I'm not after big movements, I'm after balance, good posture, and just finding a route around their knees whilst controlling their hips and not making those big motions that let them escape or unbalance yourself unnecessarily. Just take it nice and slow. Is that clear? And person 4, give increasing resistance. If they're getting around too easy, try and find ways of using what we've just said to fuck with any of those things. Fuck with their balance, fuck with their posture, fuck with their ability to get around the most upper joint, your knees. Okay? So you're just adding resistance in that way. And let's see if they find it. Don't just kill it instantly. It's their goal to win. But you're just going to add resistance to make it more interesting for them. Off you go.
Now they have even more tools and context for hand fighting and guard passing, I still don't want them to forget the core idea of balance and how to maintain it. So we repeat what we've talked about before, keeping it fresh as they add the new tools for getting around the knees.
The question then becomes, the part of doing this is to make it as organic as possible. And a lot of jiu-jitsu just isn't. And so I want to try and make sure that, no matter if you're a beginner or advanced, that we kind of stamp out nonsense. Is that stand-up guards don't really exist. In that, in what universe would I take Naki down, leave, he'd stay there, and then I'd come back in, and he gets this kind of... What in the name of fuck just happened? Now, if anything, it's going to be a case of I get my takedown, he goes down, and I stay connected because I think he's going to stand back up again. I'm not going to release his legs, because if I release his legs, he's going to get up. And that's why, again, part of the focus of this is to make sure that we don't go hold on to the neck and shoulders in any way. I don't want you to leave the hips in any way, because they will get up if they're serious, or they'll pull guard or something. So it's all about using your upper body and your lower body to control that. So as for this next part, we're going to then blend a little bit more of the stand-up back into this. So we're going to focus on some of the stuff from last week. Getting past the elbows, I want low resistance on this part because I don't want to add too much complexity to it, unless you're more advanced and you want to play a little bit more complexity. Get past their elbows in an organic way, around them, through them, under them, I don't matter. Get control of the hips, focus on your spine, shoulder blades down. Don't go in like this, just because it's wildly unsafe for yourself. Well, because they can choke you. And if it goes wrong, they'll break your neck. So don't go in head first. Go in, controlled, okay? Shoulder blades down, controlled. Then start from that control. So there isn't they're going to start in a particular guard unless they can find one, unless they can get their legs back in the game. Which at that point, I want him to try and get his legs back in the game. I want him to try and use his knees and shins to block me. So I had to close down the space, use my legs and use my arms to control his legs until I get back around his hips again. So as soon as I've made that connection, so whatever you find to get in there, so you go through, keep that tight connection. He's going to try and get his legs back in. My posture's good. Champagne glasses. Legs and arms are working as well. He's trying to get his knees back in. But I didn't just go onto his head, because he'd leave. His legs are free. Okay? Make sense? So you're going from an organic way of taking them down, focusing on your posture, focusing on how you're going to get around their elbow for it, controlling it. As soon as you make contact, get them to the ground, drag their hips down. At that point, he's going to put in more resistance. He's going to try and get his legs back in. You're going to use your legs and arms, that rolling downhill pressure, to make sure he can't use his legs to get back in. So he's going to try and get up, try and use his legs, something. But again, keep the resistance lower because you're still learning. You don't have to go balls to the wall. So if Nagi does it to me, if he finds a way past my elbow, focuses on his posture. Here, gets me down. I'm trying. Yeah. Make sense? Controlled, focusing on the plan. It's not about just getting to the end of it. Focus on your movements.
What's the point of stopping and if you pass again?
Pardon?
Pass it on.
Yeah, just reset. Yeah. So you're not looking for any other high positions. As soon as the legs are covered, just go again. Make sense? So you focus on, there's too much to focus on. Usually the driving a car analogy of you're focusing on your back, you're focusing on your balance, you're focusing on those champagne glasses, you're focusing on connection to their legs and hips, keeping tight space, using your legs and your arms to block their legs. If you're being super aggressive with trying to like get past and get it over and done with, you're going to make more mistakes. So be slow and controlled. As soon as you start fucking up with your neck and all those things, then those are when the errors will start coming and you start to get caught. Okay? Take it slow. Don't just jump for the shoulders. Everything revolves around the hips. As in, you orbit the hips. So even if I go around, say if I've got control of his hips here, I go around, but I focus on his hips, almost ignore him. Does that make sense? So I don't get to here and then go north. I keep control of his legs. That's what matters. And then maybe when these are completely gone, I'll go that way. I want to focus on this first. You orbit there, his asshole. Okay? Make sense? Cool. Off you go.
I know I am being facetious here, but there is a reason. I don't want them to fear the guard. I want them to engage directly into it and apply pressure. By doing this drill from standing, adding in elements from last week, I also want them to keep the takedown and try and find their way around people's knees to maintain it. As the additional puzzle that I'm adding, I'm telling the person on the floor to find a way to get their knees back in again, essentially teaching a context version of guard retention and shrimping.
All right, up the intensity a little bit because we're getting towards the end of the session. So for the final part, again, blending in what we've done last week as well. So I know I need to get past his elbow. He's going to maintain the good posture, so he's going to be upright, right leg forwards, or whatever his dominant leg is forwards, whatever he chooses. But I want to stay in stance. I don't want him to be shit and changing legs all the time. So proper hand work, distance work if you're in that distance, your hand fighting as soon as you're in the pocket, things we talked about last week. So as soon as I'm here, the hand fighting starts. I don't want to necessarily resist and make this into a sparring. He is the person helping me. I want him to fuck up something. And I want me to notice the fuck up and go for it. So if he suddenly starts attacking me, drops his shoulder and exposes around the back, I'm going to use it. If he keeps tapping me on the head, for example, and leading on his front arm, just doing this, there's a goal. Okay, if he exposes his front side in any way, I'm going to go for it. So I want to be smart, the hand fighting, and I use that to go in. Good posture, attach onto the hips, get him to the ground. As soon as they hit the ground, this is the important part. This is where the higher resistance comes in, and you will probably fail more, is I want him to get up. He has to get up, okay? Again, be mindful if you are bigger than the other person or better, etc. Go to a level that makes them better, but I need them to try and get up. So the purpose of this part is I need to focus on how I'm going to hold him down, and not just once I get past his legs. Even when I get past his legs, I still want to try and stand. Does that make sense? So he's doing good stuff for hand fighting. He does something stupid, I go in, and then as soon as it's the floor, he tries to get up. Okay? And I have to maintain that control, using my legs. He keeps trying to stand. And it's even if I get round, he's still trying to stand and get his legs out. Because if I do this, he's just going to fucking leave. Okay? So don't dive for the shoulders. It's all hip control. He's going to try and get up aggressively, even once I get past. So once I get past, I hold it for a few seconds. Then you swap. Make sense? So he does a mistake from the upright. So hand fighting. Maintain control. He tries to get up.
aggressively, still trying to stand, so I have to maintain it until he gives up.
Okay? Make sense? It's going to be a lot harder, but if he just explodes up and uses all his strength and I just lose, I'm not learning anything. So he has to go to a level that I have to work hard, but I don't lose. Okay? But he just gets up. Frees his legs. So you're bringing in everything now. Off you go. Just watch out for people around you.
Adding in more elements of last week, now the person on top is giving a bait. Person doing the drill finds a randomized takedown off the tail. Then they go into hold downs and maintaining control whilst the other person tries to get up and free their knees. Because of adding in the element of the person getting up, I expect people to start using their legs to control the other person's, essentially creating top guards. And that the person on the bottom not only doesn't have a guard to fear, but also we can use our legs to control theirs to control them.
Time. Just quick note. So again, like, part of the problem with this is it's going to make you do more mistakes. So talking about that kind of idea of messing up the car, essentially, you're going to start messing up your car. So trying to think like, once you've kind of find access past the elbow, either over, under or something, once they've made the mistake, once they've given you the gap off the bad posture, so he touches my head, stuff like that, don't suddenly then forget everything, go, shit, and rush in and throw yourself head in first. Like if he goes up, again, think of good posture, shoulder blades down your back, change levels of your legs onto the hips, maintain that attachment, and when you go down, you maintain that control of the hips, because if I go distance, I don't have control. Like if I suddenly go here, if I get him down, what's he going to do? He's just going to get up or run away. So you get hold of the hips, you maintain control of the hips, you attach. So as soon as he gives me that gap again, control the elbow, distance, control the hips, he's trying to get up, and then maintain control, tight legs, tight pressure, focusing on your back, champagne glasses on your back. If you start doing this, doing that, then sure, then things are going to get hard. Everything stays strong. I control the hips, okay? So just because the stress is now higher is no reason to lose your discipline. Make sense? So same again, stress is high, it's making you lose your discipline. Don't lose your discipline. Off you go.
I may not have enforced enough the control of the hips aspect. And so here I reiterate it, with additional requests for discipline in the environment. I want them to understand that good drills are simple, and that discipline will become the defining characteristic for progress in their Jiu-Jitsu career. Repeating from the second week, it is not novelty that improves Jiu-Jitsu, but consistency.